we go. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the July Wellness Webinar. I'm Laura Maloof Miller, a Wellness Program Manager with HealthNet. And today we have Stacy Noonan. She is a Senior Health Education Specialist. She is also in our Wellness Department, so she is on the line to help me today. A couple of housekeeping items before we begin. Everybody should be muted upon entry. That helps us to avoid any of the background noise. And also, of course, if you wanted to change your audio settings, you simply click on the join audio icon. And also at the end of this webinar, you're probably already very familiar with this, we do offer a quick 4-question anonymous survey. All right, so if you happen to be having any technical difficulties, please feel free to chat directly to Stacy. So you just simply open the chat box, hover over the Zoom toolbar at the top, and then you'll be able to chat directly to Stacy. If she gets a lot of messages, just remember they're in real time, so she'll respond to your message in order that she can get to you. All right, the information provided in this presentation is intended solely for the general information of the audience. As you know, it's not medical advice and shall not replace consultation with your physician or other qualified health provider. If you happen to have any health-related questions or problems, please seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider. All right, great topic for the summertime. We're talking about expanding your well-being portfolio with green space. This is what I'm going to be covering today, nature and its powerful positive effect that it has on our well-being. We'll also look at the same effect that happens when we are around and also in green space. And if you can't get to a forest or a lake, what simple things can you do to immerse yourself in nature where you live and where you work? And at the end of the webinar today, I'm going to show like a nature visualization exercise. So we'll give that a try today. All right, nature, it does a body good. Okay, I know what you're saying, Laura, that's from a milk commercial. It is, yep, but it is a fact as well that nature does have a very positive impact on our body. How much time do you spend staring at the screen every day? Be honest with yourself. For me and most Americans, that number is usually around 10 or more hours a day. So we need to take a look. Obviously, we just kind of need to face it. We rely on technology, okay? And that combined with the global trend toward urban living, that means that a lot of us are spending a lot less time outdoors. We're spending more time indoors, less time outdoors, even though the scientists are compiling evidence that's saying, hey, it's really good for us to get out into the natural world. What about the link between nature and joy, feeling joy? So viewing our natural beauty in the form of maybe landscape paintings or even in a video, it actually activates a specific reward circuits in the brain that's happened to be associated with dopamine. Okay, that's that, oh, I feel good chemical of the brain. So this gives you a sense of purpose, joy, and energy to pursue our goals. Now, research is showing that people who are more connected with nature, they're actually happier in their life, and they report more feelings of their lives are worthwhile. Nature can generate a lot of positive emotions, such as calmness, such as creativity, and also concentration. Let's do a quick poll. What is your ideal nature setting that gives you the most joy? So let me launch the poll here. All right. Is it you like being at the beach or the ocean, the lakes, a brook, a stream? Maybe you want to be in the mountains, those peaks, majestic peaks, or maybe you want to be in a forest, deep greens, moss-covered rocks, those types of things. Or maybe you like to go to the desert, red rocks, think of plateaus, think of the desert flowers. Or maybe you like to be in the snow where it's cold and crisp. Maybe you enjoy sledding, snowshoeing, or just sitting inside and watching the snow fall. Of course, these polls are optional. You are not required to do them, but it's kind of fun to see what you do get just one choice. But tell me, what area in nature gives you the most joy? All right, couple more seconds on that. All right, 80% of you responded. I'm going to end the poll and see if you can share the results. Oops, can you actually see the results? Stacy, can they see the results? Because it's on my second screen.
Let me see here. I do not see the results. No.
Oh, wait.
Oh yeah, everyone's saying yes. Everyone's saying yes.
Okay, great. Okay, good. All right, perfect. So we've got 58% of you coming in as the beach, ocean, lakes, streams, things like that. We've got 30% of you coming in at the forest and the wilderness. So that's kind of cool. All right, I'm going to stop sharing that. We'll go ahead and move on. All right. So why are we drawn to nature? Well, actually, no one knows for sure. But one of the hypotheses derived from evolutionary biologist E.O. Wilson's biophilia theory suggests that humans possess an innate tendency that we seek connections with nature and other forms of life, that we have a preference to be in beautiful natural spaces because they are resource-rich environments. They provide optimal food, shelter, and comfort for us. There's a large body of research documenting the positive effects of nature on our human flourishing, such as our social, psychological, and our emotional life. Now, viewing nature, it can be rewarding. It produces a flow of positive emotions, and it actually calms our nervous system. So this in turn helps us develop greater openness, connection, generosity, and resilience. Nature's benefits are ageless. So for children, the outdoor environment provides different play opportunities, things that can't be replicated playing inside. For example, their outdoors offers opportunity to its constantly changing environment. This is where a child can freely experience movement and explore natural elements. Additionally, children that are exposed to the natural world, they have showed increases in self-esteem, and it unleashed their creativity and gave them a chance to exercise, play, and discover. Now, let's not forget that, playing outside is typically really fun for most kids. I remember as a child, my twin sister and I, we had a swing set in our backyard. In the front yard, there, right along the street, there was this area filled with white rocks, and they had like little sparkles and stuff in them. My twin sister and I, we would be out there for hours smashing the rocks together. Okay, and then there was the time that we were playing school that was on our driveway, and my sister was the teacher. So she took a rock and she used the side of my dad's green car as a chalkboard. For adults, you can read here. It's a feeling a part of nature has been shown to significantly correlate with satisfaction with our lives, vitality, meaningfulness, happiness, mindfulness, and lower cognitive anxiety. Now, for older adults, access to the outdoor spaces, this provides important health-related benefits, like going to the park. Visits to a park had statistically significant positive impact on the moods of people who were living with dementia. And of course, getting outside is more often an effective means of increasing vitamin D. You guys know that. That's the sunshine vitamin. So especially for older adults, sometimes they can lack vitamin D, which can lead to fall injuries. So important for all of us to get outside, regardless of your age. Now, I have a really full schedule, of course, like many of you. And for all the flexibility that I have in my time, I'm using it up. I wind up using it all. Okay, so there's very few breaks in my day right now where I can unwind because I've got responsibilities of work and family life. At the end of the day, I'm actually more mentally exhausted than I am physically exhausted. So what can we do when our brains are tired? Well, when we slow down, We take a break from work and we take in beautiful natural surroundings. I sit right by a window, so just looking out. So not only do we feel restored, but our mental performance improves as well. So it's important to put in these little micro breaks. Look out the window to gaze at a green space, or take a brief stroll if you can during your lunch. Just try to avoid looking at your phone at the same time. That's not what it's about. It's enjoying what's around you. So you got to treat these breaks as an opportunity to briefly unplug, and we all need to do that. What about students? So across the globe, college and university students, they are experiencing high levels of stress and mental health issues. Yet, despite the mental health issues becoming really, really common among students, many of them do face the long waits, or maybe there's limited access to mental health services. So there's this growing body of research that suggests one way of improving our mental health might be as simple as getting outdoors. Evidence shows that being in the natural environment can help reduce stress, and it also can improve our mental well-being. Now, when you think of college students, this solution may not be as promising because most of the time there's indoors. They're studying, they're attending, lectures, or they're in the library. However, the good news is it really doesn't take that much to reap the benefits. So one study found that just being in nature 20 to 30 minutes, just 3 times a week, was effective at reducing the levels of cortisol. You know what that is? That's the stress hormone in the body. Spending time outdoors, taking some time out of every day to surround yourself with greenery and living things. That can be actually one of life's greatest joys. So it's not actually very surprising that some patients are now increasingly being prescribed time in nature and community gardening projects as a part of what they call green prescriptions. So taking part in community gardening can also encourage people to adopt healthier behaviors. For example, maybe you need to walk to the garden or take your bicycle to the garden. So that's prompting people to take up more active transport options. Also, eating the produce from the community garden help people form good habits of eating fresh, locally grown food. And unlike having to do your own garden, community gardening requires an element of cooperation and also of collective planning. So people need to work together, but they come together with a shared goal, and it's a real sense of community. Now, the process of using plants and gardens to improve the health is known as social and therapeutic horticulture. Now, on top of promoting physical and mental health benefits, it's also been shown to improve people's communication and their thinking skills. Community gardens also can bring together diverse groups of people. It's possible to make these spaces widely inclusive and accessible. Think of things like raised garden beds and paved pathways that can help improve access for wheelchair users. Okay, here's our next poll. Is there a relationship between spending time in nature and our heart health? Okay, let me launch this poll. Let's see what you think about this one. All right, that should be up now. Do you think it has no effect? It helps lower blood pressure. What about lowering cholesterol levels? Or none of these. What do you think about this? Spending time in nature. Does it affect our heart health? All right. Answers are still coming in. Wait a couple more seconds on that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. You guys are a bunch of smarty pantses on the line today. Yes, it helps to lower your blood pressure. Absolutely. All right, that one. Go back this. All right. Yes, blood pressure is it. So spending time outside is good for our heart. A research is showing us that actually the high blood pressure, it costs the United States approximately $49 billion per year, and it affects 1 in 3 of us. So visiting green spaces, this could really be a simple and affordable way to improve our heart health. There was a large study in 2016 that found that nearly 10% of the people with high blood pressure could get it under control if they spent literally just 30 minutes in a park each week. That's not daily, 30 minutes or more, actually, in a park each week. So if everyone were to make time for nature, the savings on the healthcare cost could be incredible. Now, that is from the study author, Danielle Shanahan. She is a research fellow at the University of Queensland in Australia. All right, so looking at a stunning waterfall or a beautiful countryside, that can do more than just enrich your Instagram feed. It can elicit these feelings of awe that have actually several health benefits. A 2015 study by researcher Paul Piff of the University of California, Irvine, found that people who spent 60 seconds looking up at towering trees, 60 seconds, that's not much at all, were likely to report a feeling of awe, after which they were more likely to help a stranger than people who looked up at an equally tall but less far awe-inspiring building. Okay. Several studies have shown also that having a window view can improve people's attention, reduce stress, and even help people in hospitals heal after surgery. There was a widely cited study of people who were recovering from abdominal surgery. They found that those who had a tree-lined view were released faster from the hospital. They experienced fewer complications and they required less pain medication than those people whose rooms faced a brick wall. All right. Okay, as we've already discussed, everything from a stroll through a city park to a day spent hiking in the wilderness, exposure to nature has been linked to a host of benefits. Now, most of the research so far has focused in on green spaces, things like, parks and forests. But researchers are now beginning to study the benefits of blue spaces. Those are things like rivers and ocean views. Think of Hawaii with an ocean view. We know that both the green spaces and blue spaces, so this is aquatic environments, produce well-being benefits. The more remote or biodiverse the spaces may be, are particularly helpful, even though, of course, urban parks and trees can lead to positive outcomes as well. Because the benefits provided by parks and green spaces are typically free, they're more publicly accessible. So these spaces are especially important, of course, for physical health, but they create environments that support active lifestyles and improve access to exercise opportunities. Just a little bit of exercise, is better than nothing. So we should take advantage of both green and blue spaces whenever we can. All right, so let's take a look specifically at green space and the positive effects of it. Oh, here's our last poll. When it comes to green space, what do you think it is? Is it the quality or the quantity that affects your well-being? Let me launch this. All right, so is it the quality or is it the quantity, or maybe neither one? Neither one affects our well-being. All right, votes are coming in, Stacy. They're coming in. right, couple more seconds in that. All right, I'm going to go ahead in the poll. I will share the results. All right, 58% of you said it's the quality, 25% it's the quantity, and 16 of you, doesn't really make a difference. Okay. Actually, the answer is the quality of the green space. So there's evidence that the quality really significantly contributes to neighborhood satisfaction and well-being, independent of the amount of green space. So there was the study that was done in 2 medium-sized cities in the Netherlands. So they each had the similar amount of green space, but they differed in usable green space. So the results show that the residents of the neighborhood with the higher usable green space were actually more satisfied with their neighborhood. So it's really the quality over the quantity. All right. So as we know, cities and main urban centers, those are actually going to be home to 75% of the world's population by 2050. So recent research has demonstrated the direct and indirect benefits of green space in cities. So for example, as well as, of course, it's having the beneficial effects on our stress level, some species of tree also trap air pollutants. Now, so increasing green space in cities, this is a key strategy for reducing the impact of climate change and heat islands. Well, what's a heat island? A heat island is an urban area that experiences higher temperatures than the surrounding natural area. So the effect is often caused by high building density, in particular, the heat absorbent materials that was used in the construction of cities. Think of things like cement, asphalt, even the rubber surfacing that's used in playgrounds. Now, the other day I was watching World News Tonight with David Muir. So one of the reporters was in Arizona. As you know, we've got a lot of heat going on here. So of course the temperatures were really high, as in other parts of the US and Europe. So that this reporter had a heat sensor, right? He's standing in the middle of the street. So the temperature was 110. But then when he pointed it down to the asphalt, it was 126. So the reporter said, the temperatures at night here in Arizona, they are not really cooling off. It's because the asphalt, as it cools a little bit, that is releasing heat into the air during the nighttime. Okay. So urban green spaces, they're going to play a significant role in our efforts to adapt to climate change as these summer heat waves, these are expected to become more severe, obviously, and continue and be more frequent with the continuing of global warming. It's really important for city planners. They should consider shade and the water vapor that comes, from evaporation that's provided by the urban green spaces. Also, the presence of trees helps reduce electricity consumption. If it's cooler in the area, you'll use less electricity, and also with the increase in carbon dioxide absorption. So go trees. All right, so I thought this was kind of really interesting that California's natural forests and grasslands, they see approximately 24 million visitors each year. And this plays a role in motivating, of course, people to be physically active, great outdoor recreation opportunities, and certainly assist in promoting public health. Now, the advantages include access to diverse areas, highly scenic open lands with well-developed roads and trail networks, and also, of course, some of the specialized recreation resources, such as rivers and lakes and the rugged terrain that you obviously, will not really find in your neighborhood park. So these statistics I thought were really, really interesting. Most people, 7 million, go for the snow. They visit annually for the snow. I thought that was fascinating. Okay, 2 million people go for the wildlife and viewing nature. Same thing, 2 million, they just go to relax and enjoy nature. 1.6 go for hunting and fishing. Over 500,000 do the motorized activities. So that sounds like off-roading it to me. And then about 1 million people every year go for camping and the backpacking. So many people believe that open space and recreation opportunities, these are really essential for strengthening and maintaining healthy communities. And they improve a community's image, the socioeconomic status, and also enhance the desirability of the area. Now, for me personally, when growing up, we never went camping. So it's a little odd that I absolutely enjoy it. Now, I'm not really a camper, I'm a glamper. So long days, long gone are the days where I take my teenagers and the dog and my husband, and we go for a tent and air mattresses. Oh, no, we don't do that anymore. We now rent an RV so that we can have heat and air conditioning. However, we enjoy being in nature. So we sit around the campfire, we roast marshmallows, we play games, we listen to the birds. Of course, we go for walks. We like to dip our feet into a stream if we can. And certainly looking up at all the stars. Oh my, it's really, really relaxing for us. So my family enjoys that. Got nature. All right. We can't always get away to a forest or a beach resort. So let's take a look at some practical tips on ways that we can reap the benefits of being in nature. Now, whether you're watching from your window, or maybe you go on your porch or your balcony, or you find your favorite path, or you just simply spend your time just taking in what's around you. Watch the clouds roll by, watch the birds flit from branch to branch, or you look up at the stars at night. Just taking a moment to watch our world can remind us to be present in the moment and appreciate the delicate nature of the world around us. Use your ears and listen. We often find some peace and quiet, though once you find a quiet place outside, you actually may begin to hear more than you imagined. The birds are singing, the bees are buzzing, the sound of wind in the trees. Play outside too. So throw that ball for your dog. Dance. Maybe find that hula hoop that's in the back of your garage, or simply just relax outside. All of these things can lighten your mood. Books. They actually provide a great way to visit another place and learn all about its natural history. That actually has well-being benefits as well. Just reading and absorbing and, visually in your mind, picturing these other places. Now, getting outdoors doesn't mean you have to summit the mountains or climb rocks or do anything that's really extreme. For many of us, you know what it means, just getting outdoors, just simply taking a stroll outside, maybe around your neighborhood, and you notice things that maybe you've never noticed before. Now, those who want to garden, if you want to plant seeds or just tend to your plants or pull invasive weeds, gardening is a great way to connect to the land and to nature. Don't forget to bring a pen and notepad. Sometimes it's a great way to train yourself to notice things more closely. And it's also an opportunity to reflect on your day. Now, I'm not really an artist, but creating art is certainly a great way to connect with nature and yourself in a new way while taking in the beauty that surrounds you. So whether you're making a painting or even just taking a photo with your phone or doing a simple drawing, that helps to capture the beauty of our land. And it helps you to fall more in love with this wonderful place we live. Stop and just breathe. Whether it's a minute or an hour, breathing in our clean air is good for our body, mind, and for our heart. There's some other ideas. So explore where you live. Maybe you have cherry blossoms that come up in the spring. Have a picnic at a park. Enjoy the good weather, maybe at an outdoor cafe. If you have access, walk on a beach. Feel the sand between your toes, or just play a round of golf, or mini golf includes, included too, mini golf. Play like a kid, fly a kite, get dirt under your fingernails, blow bubbles, feed ducks at a pond, or wade in a creek. Also, enjoy some grilled vegetables that are in season, summertime, great for vegetables. How about fresh fruit, strawberries, watermelon, cherries? Visit a farmer's market to buy fresh produce. You can even make a strawberry shortcake. Go berry picking, and then, of course, you eat along the way. Enjoy those fresh berries. Recharging, so you can watch bumblebees at work in your garden or in the backyard or at the park. Listen to birds singing, just even feeling the sun on your face. Good weather, you can open your windows, catch a breeze that maybe comes in the evening, and also decorate your home with fresh flowers. So lots of easy ways, opportunities to bring the outdoors inside. Gardening is a great way to immerse yourself in nature without having to travel away from home, or you don't actually really need a lot of equipment if you don't mind the extra work. And this is really great. It's suitable for all fitness levels. You do know that gardening falls under moderate activity. How rewarding is it when you look out on your neatly weeded and mulched vegetable plot, or a well-planned flower bed that happens to be the summertime bursting with lots of color? What about, what's better than eating food that you just came from your own garden? Yum. Gardening gives you a chance to live in the moment. You're working with your garden. It can actually be a meditative activity. Don't forget the kids. Not only is it important for them to know where their food comes from, studies actually have shown that children are likely to eat what they have helped grow. Even the kids are happier when they garden, right? It's an all-around family fun activity. How to bring, the outdoors inside. So decorate your living space with cues from nature. Blues, think of blues, greens, browns. Think of splashes of bright colors from flowers. Imagine nature's colors on your wall, upholstery, even decorative accessories. You can even decorate your desk with nature elements. You can even change your desktop wallpaper and your screensaver. Think about maybe adding a desk plant. Other suggestions include things like maybe do an indoor herb garden, use potted plants around your living space, even just looking at photos of nature. I was once in Aspen, Colorado. I took such nice pictures with my phone, and then I got those framed at Costco. So I have like 5 or 6 of them up on the walls as I come up the stairs. It just makes me happy looking at those. So hang photos of nature on your walls. You can certainly listen to nature sounds or nature-based meditations. Oh, apps have all kinds of nature sounds on them. You may want to try aromatherapy, like essential oils or a diffuser. The bottom picture that you see here on this slide is actually the picture that is right above my desk. It is a photograph from Yosemite, and it makes me really happy to look at that. Okay, here we go. This is sort of the end of the presentation. I thought it would be really fun to do a virtual walk through several forests. So I need to connect over to sharecare.com. When I play this, it's really just listening to the nature sounds and enjoying the view. So it starts out a little bit soft with birds chirping. So you personally may want to adjust the volume on your computer as needed, but don't think that there isn't a sound. It'll take about 10 or 15 seconds for you to hear the sound. So let me switch over to this. Pardon me for having to log in, but that's what I have to do. Just sit back, relax. I hope you really enjoy this. Just stop it for a second so I can do the volume and share my whole screen. All right, here we go. right, let me close off of this. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. That was about a little over 5 minutes of just being able to feel as if you were in nature. So if you can find 5 minutes in your day, this was on sharecare.com. That is our wellness portal. If you are not a HealthNet member, you can just go into sharecare.com. You do have to register the first time, but I had typed in the search. I had typed in like meditation, nature meditation. So there were several of these. So that one is the one that came up, and that's the one I selected. So I hope you enjoyed that. These last couple of slides, these are on our HealthNet programs for our members. Our members can find, of course, all of our wellness programs and resources when they log into their HealthNet account. And don't forget to take the health risk assessment. That's called the Real Age Assessment. And check out all of our wellness center programs. My Strength, I talk about this usually every time. That is our mind, body, and spirit program. It's both an online program as well as an app, and it helps you to reduce stress, anxiety, depression, or substance abuse. Really easy, quick videos from health professionals, guided meditations, inspirations, lots of different topics such as joy, laughter, positivity, meditation, mindfulness, relaxation, COVID-19 and racism, just to name a few. This is a self-help program, but it can also be used in conjunction with a mental health professional. And through the end of this year, we both have a login for HealthNet members, as well as an access code if you do not have HealthNet. So again, it's open to everybody. Tackling new health goals obviously can be really challenging. So we offer the health coaching program, helps you with goals and plan and support you through your journey. If our HealthNet members have a health concern, they can call the nurse advice line and speak to a registered nurse. And don't forget about the discounts that we offer for our members, Weight Watchers, chiropractic care, acupuncture services. If you need an extra pair of prescription sunglasses or computer glasses, we offer discounts for that as well. Hearing aids, and then of course our fitness club discount too. If you are not a HealthNet member, just check with your health plan to see if they offer similar programs, services, and discounts. And then lots of challenges coming up in August. So the Ready, Set, Summer, this is a 90-day Green Day challenge. So you're going to be logging your healthy habits. It started in May and it runs to the end of August. So it's certainly not too late to participate. In August, we also have Move to Snooze. So we know that moderate exercise can have a very positive effect on your sleep. So if you join this challenge, you will be monitoring your sleep and your activity. Digital Detox, that is a stress challenge. So it's about trying to cut back on the screen time and form some other healthier habits. Smart Snacks, that is the nutrition challenge. So you will be challenged to swap out some of the unhealthy snacks for some smarter choices. And the Every Step Counts, that of course is a steps challenge. What you're trying to do in that challenge is aim for 5,000 steps each day, and you'll be tracking your progress. If you are a HealthNet member, you can certainly participate in all of these challenges, but we do have one specific for HealthNet members in August called Sleep Tight Tonight, that we know that poor sleep can worsen your memory. It can increase anxiety and expand your waistline, actually. So you're going to be challenged yourself to get about 7 hours of sleep each night. And then next month, our wellness webinar is going to be the benefits of acupressure. So in this webinar, we'll be talking about complementary medicine, the origin of acupressure, and how it's different from acupuncture, and its common uses of self-acupressure, as well as its uses for things like anxiety and stress and depression, insomnia, and pain. At the end of the webinar, we will also be including a guided practice, not at the end, but during the webinar next month, we'll be doing a guided practice as well. So I hope you will join us for that next month. Thank you so much for your time today. Do not forget that everybody who registered for this webinar will receive a link to the recording, and I will include a link to that ShareCare visualization, walking through nature link as well. Thank you so much for your time. You may exit the webinar.